He's so likable, the charismatic, the smile. All right, Max, I'm going to start with you. Do you think Knicks fans should be excited about Zion's comments that it's his favorite city, he would have loved to play there, only second to New Orleans?
Very excited. First of all, in the draft, if you draft him, you don't even know if he's going to hold up physically, whatever. But what winds up happening almost always in smaller markets who have transformational kind of talents is they stay there for 6 years. Because the way the contracts are structured in the NBA, you leave too much money on the table if you bounce before you have that 7 years with the team, right? So heading into year 7, after year 6, their agent informs the team they're not going to re-sign. You might as well get something for them and trade them to their preferred destination, or else they wait it out and they just sign away. The Greek Freak didn't just do that. But that's the exception, not the rule in the small market. Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, that's ancient history. What about LeBron James, who is from Akron, right there near Cleveland? He even left. Not a major market. KD, OKC, he left. It's all the same story. It's usually if you have an MVP caliber, all-time great player from a small market, even when they're from there, eventually they're going to leave, and that eventually is usually after 6 years. Either they're going to get traded heading into year 7, or they'll sign away after year 7. So why haven't the Knicks gotten anybody in recent years? And by recent years, I mean decades now. Because no one wanted to play there. But things are changing. Not just that they have a coach who's competitive and a team that's scrappy, but R.J. Barrett. They have young ascending players with friends in the league like Zion Williamson. Of course Knicks fans should be excited. If Zion Williamson is healthy after 6 seasons in New Orleans, and I'm a Knicks fan, I'm thinking, ooh, we got a real chance to trade for him heading into that year 7. And if he's healthy, by then you figure he's an MVP caliber player. He's already spectacular. Already. And if you have to wait that extra year for him to sign, now you don't have to give up anything for him but the cash. No, it's a really good sign that a young superstar player is saying that. And in particular, this one is saying that about these Knicks. If you're a Knicks fan, you have to be excited.
It's depressing, Max. I was in a good mood until they brought that up. It's depressing. 2019, I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike, Max. I'm driving home, and I'm listening to the draft on TV. And I know that the Knicks, the draft lottery or whatever, the Knicks, I'm hoping those ping pong balls, drop in their favor and they open the envelope and they were going to have a chance at Zion. New York Knicks end up with the number 3 overall pick when everybody and their mother knew that Zion was going to be number 1. Ja Morant was going number 2 to Memphis. And we got R.J. Barrett, who, by the way, has been playing nicely. He's starting to hit his 3-point shots. They're going to have to do something with Kevin Knox because Kevin Knox can't really get on the floor ahead of him. But it's just when I think about Zion and him averaging over 26 a game and shooting damn near 60% from the field or around 60% from the field and being the monster that he is, being the human highlight reel that he is, I think about Madison Square Garden and what if he were there. And I knew he wanted to be there. Everybody and their mother knew he wanted to be there. He looked depressed when he saw that New Orleans ended up getting the number 1 overall pick, okay? He didn't want to be there. He wanted to be in New York, okay? He wanted to be in the Mecca. But it didn't turn out to be that way. And then 2 of the most painful moments for me as a Knicks fan, Max Kellerman, was when that happened, all right? And again, I like R.J. Barrett, but he's no Zion. The other was when the New York Knicks had the 8th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, and Steph Curry went number 7. One more slot, and Steph Curry would have been a New York Knicks. Mike D'Antoni was coaching the team. Donnie Walsh was there, and there was no question that the New York Knicks were going to grab Steph Curry.
And you know what?
If he landed there. And instead, they had Jordan Hill.
And you know what, Stephen A.? Steph Curry never said anything like, this is my favorite place to play outside
yeah, I
of my
understand that.
outside. But Zion's saying it.
So
He's
what?
saying it. Let me
so
tell you
what?
something.
They can't have him. They can't have him.
Not yet. Not yet, but let me tell you something.
That's like taking the tiger, right? And in front of the tiger, you just throwing out a bunch of steak right in front of him and stuff like that, but he can't reach it.
The Lakers.
We can't reach it.
The Lakers are
can't
the
get
all-time
Zion.
team, not only for being the marquee franchise and winning the most and the champions and everything, but for bigs. They never draft a big. They wait to see who's left standing through attrition. Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, Pow, AD, none of those guys were drafted by the Lakers. LeBron wasn't drafted by the Lakers, but the Lakers are a destination. And they want to play in L.A., not just because of the market, because the Clippers never been out of the second round, but because of the Lakers. If the Knicks can start becoming that in New York, then they'll eventually get Zion when he's at the height of his powers.
You make me sick. I can't stand you. You're a traitor. You understand? You departed. You betrayed New Yorkers. You left and you went to L.A. All right. Oh, so the New York Knicks, who haven't won a title since 1973, suddenly they're a destination spot, right? Even though the Lakers got 17 championships. Listen, Leon Rose has done an exceptional job. James Dolan has stayed out of the way for the most part. World Wide West, William Wesley's doing his thing. Scott Perry's doing his thing. Tom Thibodeau's the Coach of the Year candidate. Julius Randle is an MVP candidate as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't matter.
Culture seems healthy. It looks like Dolan finally got out of the way. I thought they had a must-win game, actually, against Sacramento when they hosted Sacramento because they're 2 games under 500. You got to win that kind of game if you want to make the playoffs. They've done nothing but win since then. Stephen A. quickly has been a revelation. I think the Derrick Rose move was really good. You don't just want a lot of young guys like Julius Randle is shooting from distance now. That's the big change in his game. I don't think you want to make the mistake of just a lot of young guys. You need to bring in the right kind of veteran who's been through it all, who's willing to mentor and work hard. That's what Derrick Rose is. My hat's off to this young team. They're a game over 500. They're 4th place in the conference. But to say, are the Knicks back? No, this is something new. The Knicks back? It means, oh, look, there goes the Knicks, the laughing stock of the league. This is new.
Hey, man, you can turn it any way you want to. Back, forward, slide, and moonwalk. I don't give a damn. As long as you recognize the fact that there's something happening in Madison Square Garden. There's something happening in New York City, Max Kellerman. Hey, listen, man, let me tell you something. You got Julius Randle. He's averaging 23 and 11, shooting nearly 42% from three-point range, okay? I'm pleased. I'm very, very pleased, and he's worthy of being an all-star. I'm just getting a little bit emotional right now. I want to take a moment of time to give my brother Worldwide West, William Wesley, props. The one and only Leon Rose, the president of basketball operations.
You deserve it.
Props. My man Scott Perry, the GM. Props. And, of course, Tom Thibodeau. And, by the way, slight correction, Molly Wood. Slight correction. You know, the New York Knicks are number 2 defensively in terms of defensive efficiency, but they are number 1 defensively in terms of points allowed at 104 points a game. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. You got Quickly, you got Rose. You got Rose up in there. You got Randall. Oh, by the way, Mitchell Robinson's been hurt. Taj Gibson has been hurt. Because you know how a guy like Tom Thibodeau wants somebody on the interior. He wants a big boy there, block shots, grab rebounds, that kind of stuff going on. So I'm looking at a bunch of rough riders. I've been hearing the New York Knicks in my ear telling me about culture change. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing hard work. We're seeing a never die attitude. We're seeing rough riders. They ain't soft. They're coming at it. They're battling, folks. I'm going to tell you right now, Max, do you know what impediment that I see to the New York Knicks' potential success? Are you sitting down for this? The impediment to their success is also the primary reason they've been successful thus far. That's Tom Thibodeau, my buddy Tom Thibodeau. Why do I say that? Why do I see that? Here's the deal. No, not at all. But here's what I'm saying. You got Julius Randle. He played like 41 minutes against Indiana. What the hell you got him playing 38 minutes last night for? Why is he in the game when they running away against the hapless Detroit Pistons? Why would you do that? This is what Thibodeau has done in the past because he's about tomorrow, today and tomorrow, not looking ahead. This is the problem that he had in Chicago. I want him to learn from that.
Yeah, you're saying he's going to burn him out. You're afraid of that. Yeah, he's very intense.
Hold on.
Stephen,
you got to take your foot off the gas just a little bit. I know they're young. I know they got their fresh legs, but don't run them into the ground like that. He's got to be careful. Nerlens Noel, I know he doesn't play much, but damn, you got him 41 minutes, all of that other stuff, back-to-back night stuff like that. He's got to be careful.
But he plays.
But other than that, Max, they're only 4 games back of the Brooklyn Nets. Hey, Max, I was watching the numbers the other day. Do you know that if the playoffs began, that it would have been the Knicks against the Nets, but that's when the Knicks were the 7th seed. See, they number 4 now.
Here's the thing. Wait, hold on. Here's the thing.
5th seed, and they'd host a playoff series.
I got three things to say about this.
I love it.
Number one, what's crazy to me is nationally, the Nets are the story. People outside New York don't care about the Knicks. They care about the Nets. We lead the show with the Nets, never the Knicks. But inside New York, in terms of locally, the Knicks still got it. People get more excited, which brings me to my second point. Stephen A., throughout this pandemic, there's been a lot missed. You know, the enemy is the perfect of the good. We're just happy to have sports. If you can't have crowds, you can't have crowds. And I'm not saying, oh, they should. I'm just saying, could you imagine Madison Square Garden at capacity for this young team? It really is a shame that they don't really get that right now, because Madison Square Garden, when they have a team they can get behind, when New York does, because of effort especially, and intensity, when you know these young guys are working hard and laying it all out there, New York respects that in a different way. It is a shame that that's not happening in front of a raucous, rocking Madison Square Garden.
What's up with the negativity? Relax.
Well, and thirdly, I have to say,
the crowd will be there come playoff time. They'll be there.
I have to say, I watched the Knicks game, the whole thing from beginning to end. You know how long it's been since I watched the whole thing? I could sit through the whole thing. I couldn't believe it, but I did. They are a fun team to watch.
They are going at it. They're competing. And listen, when you defend, you have a chance. When you defend, you have a chance. And the one thing they do is defend. And once Mitchell Robinson comes back, watch even more. I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
You know when KD and James Harden and Kyrie are all playing? You're not talking about no Knicks.
Listen, let me ask you this question. If the New York Knicks get out of the first round, if they win a first-round series, because if the players started today, they'd play Miami, who's on their own streak. You see how I turned the Miami Heat around? See how I turned them around? I called them out. They've been undefeated ever since. See what I did for the Miami Heat?
That's true. It may be correlation, not causation.
But the Knicks will play the Miami Heat in the first round. Could you imagine if the New York Knicks ended up in the second round and they had to go up against the Brooklyn Nets? The Brooklyn Nets would have all the pressure. The Knicks would be playing with house money. They'd have nothing to lose.
Hey, real quick, Molly, let me say this. You know why the Knicks, and I was laughing at you guys thinking they were going to get KD? Because players don't go to bad cultures. The reason the Nets got those guys is the culture was good. This Knicks team, if they keep doing this, the message they're going to send to potential free agents is it's a good place to play. And then New York sells itself. That could